Got about 25 people in here. Anybody in this room believe that Barack Obama's tears were genuine?
No. That is not what I'm arguing. I hope that's clear. That is not the point I'm making. I'm just saying that you can't.
Does anybody think there's a chance they were real? I'm asking the floor crew too. Does anybody think there's a chance that they were real?
I think there's a chance.
Quiet. Anybody in this room think there was a chance?
The guy on the mic
they were real?
No. You don't need people in the back. The guy on the mic just said he thinks there's a chance that they're real.
Well, I know what he says. We always give people the benefit of the doubt, right? I mean,
there's a chance. It's just small. I think it's slim. Yeah, we talked about this on Patents, too. This is a legitimately cry-worthy event. Yeah, it's one of the worst crimes in American history. It's that bad. I mean, just a few it was the anniversary just a few weeks ago, and I made the mistake of going back and just starting to, reading stories about it and going through the details. It is legitimately one of the worst things that's ever happened. From an optics standpoint, from an emotional standpoint, it's awful. These are 20 first graders, and add on to the fact that this guy who did it didn't have any connection to them, didn't have any note left afterwards. It was not this horrible ideology he was trying to execute. It was just nothing. There was no freaking reason for it, and
no, it's awful.
It is that bad, and it is legitimately worthy of emotion.
It's as close as we have gotten to Beslin.
Yeah, it's in that category. And one of the huge tragedies of the aftermath is how the left has turned this event, which should unite all of us in horror, into some political thing that they trot out every time they want to advance some control agenda.
Because this is why I don't believe it. The president only addresses things that work to his agenda. Mm-hmm. Where was he in San Bernardino? Where was he? He couldn't deal with San Bernardino. There were Christians killed at a Christmas party by Islamic radicals that his administration let in. He is silent on that. Where's his emotion there? He's only emotional when he can jam, not even when the facts apply, when he can jam it into his agenda.
Absolutely.
And it's sickening.
And once again, even with 2020 hindsight, he's not proposing anything that would have stopped this.
No.
And in there, you know what? There is nothing. Because here is a mom who is an upstanding member of society, whose son murders her to take the guns to go shoot the first graders. Now, perhaps, if you had the real foresight, perhaps you could make murdering his mom illegal, and maybe that would have stopped it.
No,
but there's nothing there.
That's not true. This actually could stop that, and here's how. If he had, do we know, was he on any medication? Wasn't he on medication?
There were some reports of that.
He had gone to a doctor.
I think he was off of it, though.
Well, it doesn't matter. Right. It doesn't matter, because as soon as he goes to the doctor, the FBI is alerted by the doctor that you have somebody unstable in the house, and then the FBI has to go and take all of the guns from the house.
It's completely unconstitutional.
Completely unconstitutional. There is a chance that he was crying because he hasn't been able to do anything to stop it. There's a chance that he feels so bad that I haven't been able to do anything to stop it. And that's kind of what he said yesterday. But, Mr. President, you also said that this is completely legal and constitutional, and you've been waiting around. If you felt this deeply about it, why didn't you, and this is legal and totally constitutional, why didn't you do this in the first place?
I know, and he says, well, I wanted to go through Congress, and so you just wanted all these people to die while you were waiting to go through Congress? You could have taken these steps legally, and in your view as the president, you say all these people are going to live because of these moves, so you just let all those people die all this time. I mean, it's obviously he didn't think he could do these things, and now he's doing them anyway. Everyone told him, no, of course you can't do an executive action to make these things happen. You need to go through Congress. As, by the way, Joe Manchin even said, a Democratic senator. And of course he knows he couldn't do them all this time, and now he's just doing it anyway. And he's going to wait to see if he can get lucky in the courts 5 years from now. It's over. I mean, assuming that
Assuming that somebody like Ted Cruz gets in, it's over. Because Ted Cruz will undo this day one.
But again,
you said that yesterday.
And you did say that. But again, you have the possibility that it could be Hillary Clinton, which is at least half, right? They have 0.5% that it's Hillary Clinton, and she will not only keep these things, but probably make them worse.
Right, progressive.
And then you have another, half the field of the Republicans. I mean, Chris Christie is on record saying he got into politics because he wanted to keep the assault weapon ban. So, I mean, if he gets in office, he's not going to change it. He's going to say it now, I'm sure, in the primary, but there's a good chance there. So what are his opportunities? 70%? That it sticks around afterwards? I mean, sure, if Ted Cruz gets in there, it's going away, but there's most likely it probably stays. And this is why he did the thing with Iran without getting approval. Well, what's going to happen? All these other countries are going to have to follow our lead when Cruz undoes it, and they know they'll get these things down the road as far as possible.
Did you see that he is starting to support Iran? It looks like he's leaning his support over the Saudis.
Yeah,
over the Saudis.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way.
Holy cow!
We're upside down in every possible way.
Every possible way.
These guys are 2 weeks away from getting these sanctions lifted, and in the middle of this, they're burning down the embassies of our supposed allies, and we're just like, oh yeah, let's go forward. We're with them now.
It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Let me share something else. Nobody's really talking about what is happening with North Korea. In a way, everybody's talking about it in the way of, hey, did you see North Korea got a hydrogen bomb? Yeah, I did see that. Wasn't that a big deal during the Bush administration? You can't let North Korea get a hydrogen bomb? Now it's just like, hey, and they tested it, and it was a 5.1 on the Richter scale. That's kind of cool. It's a hydrogen bomb.
And by the way, they did not get it during the Bush administration. This is the first time they've ever had a successful test of a hydrogen bomb. They had an atomic bomb, which is, certainly still significant. But this is a hydrogen bomb. So, technology.
An atomic bomb is the trigger for a hydrogen bomb. Did you know that? A hydrogen bomb needs so much heat to trigger the hydrogen reaction that it requires an atomic bomb to go off first to set off the chain reaction. That's a hydrogen bomb. So we have Saudi Arabia and Iran at each other's throats, ISIS crucifying children. And I don't know if you saw in the Philippines, 60,000 Christians killed by Muslims. Have you even heard that story?
No.
Liquidating Christians.
60,000?
We'll give you the story coming up in a minute. Also,
wow.
Has anybody seen the video that I got yesterday? The video of ISIS training people to make remote control cars. I mean, actual cars, all self-driving, so they can blow things up and not have a suicide bomber inside. The cameras actually got into their training camps. And what they're training for, what they're building now, they have a scientific community. It's absolutely terrifying. Making chemical weapons, driverless car bombs, North Korea, the hydrogen bomb. The stock market tumbled this week. Doctors now ordered by the president to ignore HIPAA with the president's gun grab. Muslim killers are now within our borders. Rangers last night, anybody know about this? Rangers last night trapped inside of Afghanistan, being slaughtered. Where's the president's tears on that? 95 million jobless. The country now believes the number one problem in America is not the economy, not the war, not terror, not guns. The number one problem, according to Gallup, the government. And what is the press talking about? What are they really talking about? They're talking about the president's tears. They're talking about how the president is doing his best for gun control with all of the hydrogen bomb. Saudi Arabia is now doubling the price of gas and talking about a first-time income tax on their people. Saudi Arabia is over. And we're talking about gun control to get the guns out of the hands of the American people. What else are they talking about? Did you you see how they swarmed Ted Cruz yesterday? Because Donald Trump said that he's not sure now. He said before that he's absolutely sure that Ted Cruz is qualified to run as president, and he is an American, and so he can do this. Donald Trump went all birther yesterday. I'm not sure if he's constitutionally able to run for president. He's already said he was. Now he's gone all birther on Ted Cruz.
He doesn't know if he's born here. He doesn't know if he's a real Christian.
And so what were the press doing? The press wanted Ted Cruz to go after Donald Trump.
Not just wanted, they essentially demanded. I mean, one after another would not let it go.
How can you possibly not respond to this? And he's like, because it's ridiculous. This is not what the American people even care about.
And I responded on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm not going to play this game.
Yeah.
And they kept coming and coming and coming and coming. Hydrogen bomb. Christians being slaughtered. Saudi Arabia about to fall into the abyss. War in the Middle East, unlike the world has ever seen. An army that calls themselves the Army of Armageddon. Rangers trapped and being slaughtered. The stock market, the value of the dollar. Chemical weapons. Self-driving cars made by ISIS. Hey, media. Why don't you grow up? Why don't you grow up?